By the time you're watching this video, Intel might have already done their live stream and might have given out some more information about Intel Arc than what I have here. But at the time of filming, that's not out yet, and I've got to leave to go teach geometry. So we're going to go off of the leaked information I have here from video cards. And honestly, I think I actually understand their naming scheme now. I think it's stupid, but at least I've wrapped my head around it. So it lines up with their processors. I finally understand why it's 350, 370, A550, A730, A770. Okay, this, like, all these names have been confusing me so much on all the leaks. Like, what is a 350M? Is the 370 better than anyway, the point is, just like how they have i3s, i5s, and i7s, they're going to have A3s, A5s, and A7s for their GPUs. Now I can wrap my head around that. Am I really slow to the party here on understanding this? Anyway, and the A is the series number. So, well, series letter, I guess, not number. So this is the Alchemist series, whereas next generation will be the Battle Mage series, and they'll put a B in front of it. And then after your initial 3, meaning you're on the cheap low-end one, they've got either a 5 or a 7, right? Currently, it looks like they only have the 5.5 version, but on the 7 version, they have a 3 and a 7. So I can at least tell, as that second number gets bigger, you're up in the step on your, A3, A5, or A7. I get it now. And now the M's do mean mobile. And that's, I think, one of the most annoying things about their current launch plan is that today they should be announcing that, again, this is leaked from video cards, but it looks like an official slide that they've got, so I'm pretty sure this is good, that these are going to be available starting now. And that's only the A3s and 5, I think. Right? It's the 7 that's colored differently. It's okay. This says available in early summer. So it almost looks like it runs into this 5. So that's maybe slightly unclear to me, and I'm sure the Intel announcement will make it more clear whether that 5 is part of this. But here's the problem. These are all M's. These are laptops. These are discrete GPUs, but in a mobile form factor. And for a lot of PC builders, that's not good enough. But anyway, God, I'm just, honestly, I'll just ramble about this now for a second. I'm really worried that Intel is way too late to the party on the desktop side of things. Because, man, if the mobile chips aren't even finishing coming out until early summer, is that June or July? Then when are we getting these desktop chips? Because all signs point to AMD and NVIDIA coming out with their whole next generation of GPUs at the end of this year, quarter 3 or quarter 4. So, also the performance here, I don't expect to be blown away. So, and with GPU prices coming down, they're also kind of missing the boat on getting in there due to maybe being cheaper than their competition. But anyway, it looks like these 3 series, I know my fat head's in the way, but what I was covering up there is just this was the memory bus width and the graphics power. So you can see these are very, very low powered chips. And then, the higher end ones actually drawing some serious power. I'd be interested to see what kind of performance we could get from those. I mean, serious power, I'm talking laptops here, not the desktop versions, which would hopefully be higher powered. But then you can see the number of cores going from 6 to 8 to 16, 24, and 32. Each core has a ray tracing unit, so these are definitely capable of ray tracing. Remains to be seen exactly how well. We see the graphics clocks. Now that's one thing that's interesting. So you can't just judge their performance based on how many cores they have, because these cores might be clocked differently, right? They also have different amounts of VRAM and memory bus width. So overall, on the memory side of things, looks like the low-end chips are here at 4 gigabytes, the mid-range will be 8, and we will see both a 12 and 16 offering. And again, these are mobile chips, so we don't know if that will be exactly the same idea when they come to desktop. But it certainly wouldn't surprise me if it followed these same kinds of lineups. Now, what kind of performance do we expect here? Well, lots of leaks and rumors about that. As far as what video cards has going here, and again, by the time you watch this video, if it's, later today, you might have more information about this. But I think they said that in their slide deck, it's basically performance is being compared to the Intel Iris Xe iGPUs. And by compared to that, I don't think they mean is the same performance as, but like how much better performance this is than their previous integrated GPU offerings. Which means that if they're not directly comparing to AMD and NVIDIA on the mobile chip side of things, I don't think I would be expecting any mind-blowing performance here. Now, speaking of AMD, we've got Zen4 preparing to enter mass production for desktop chips. Now that sounds great, but don't assume that means that we are getting chips next month for Zen4. That's not what I would take from this. First of all, this is a rumor. Where's it coming from? It's coming from Greymon55. He says, Raphael is about to enter the mass production stage. The packing plant has already prepared all the work and will start mass production next month or early May. So starting mass production in April or May. Now, what does that mean? As I think this Video Cards article also points out, but I'm also aware of, when a chip enters mass production, it can still be several months before we actually see it in the hands of consumers. And the fact that this is also going to require a whole new socket and motherboard lineup and all of that would tell me that I don't think we would see this sooner than normal in terms of entering mass production. I think, if anything, it would be taking even longer. Because, let's see, for example, they say, for context, the Zen 3 desktop chips entered mass production in July of 2020, but didn't launch until November, right? So that is a big time gap, right? So if we start seeing these, entering mass production in May, then it wouldn't surprise me if we didn't actually see the chips launching until the end of the year, for example, in November or something like that. It would make sense if they come out around the time of Intel's 13th gen chips to give some kind of competition there. Who knows if they'll come in at the same time, a little before, a little after, but there you go. Now, the last thing I want to talk about here, I don't even know if I should bring it up. So I looked at a bunch of the reviews of the 3090 Ti, and I understand it is absolutely horrible value and most people shouldn't buy one. But I also feel like some reviews were a little bit too hard on these things. Now, I'm bringing up this Kingpin one to look at as an example because the 3090 Ti is not designed for people who care about value. That's not who this is for, or at least not value in terms of price to performance or performance per watt. This thing is designed for people who get their value from owning the best of the best of the best. And honestly, for some people, an extra $500, $1,000, $2,000, depending on what kind of income they make and if this is their main entertainment budget, honestly, the price is kind of irrelevant. So no, I don't think most people should run out and buy a 3090 Ti, but I also don't feel like the people who want one of these to, for example, chase some world record overclocking, or not even world record overclocking, but you just want to design the highest end PC that you possibly can, I don't think you need to feel bad about buying one of these. So I don't know. I think this might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think buying a 3090 Ti is stupid for certain people. If what you're chasing in your PC build is performance per dollar or performance per watt, this is the worst GPU of all time as far as I can tell. But if what you're chasing is just building the highest end PC possible with the parts on the market, then this is the best GPU for you. And honestly, even though PC graphics cards have reached insane pricing levels, if you compare this to other hobbies, some people spend so much more money on other hobbies that, a couple $1,000s on a graphics card is kind of silly given previous pricing on graphics cards. But I don't know. If you want to have the absolute best of the best of the best, you're obviously going to pay for it. And if people want to do that, I don't really blame them. It's not for me. I'm not buying one for the channel, and I doubt it's for most of you. But there are people this is targeting, and I don't think they should feel bad for just wanting to have the highest end thing ever. And upgrading it again at the end of the year when your 4080 or 4090 comes out and stomps this thing. Anyway, I hope all you guys have an excellent day.